Chris Drea and some of the other guys that were playing. It was a different lineup at that point. And when they were looking for a harmonica player and a bass player and a guitar player all at the same time, so the three of us, me, myself, Johnny, and Kenny, all came into the band at the same time a couple of years back. It was kind of funny because, like Johnny said, we didn't really have auditions. Although I was told that Jim watched a bunch of YouTubes of the Doughboys to decide whether or not he wanted to let me play harmonica. So, but you know, the thing for us is that this has been so much fun because the whole legacy of this band and the cutting edge that they had from the very beginning just affected so many people in our age brackets, you know, and most of you in our age, same age bracket. It affected especially musicians in ways that, you know, it's hard to even try to quantify that. But we're having so much fun, and we just want to see you all have as much fun when we play as we do when we're on the stage. That's what I'd like to see happen for the rest of this tour. So we've got one more show tonight at 7:45. We're not sure where. It's either going to be here or at the pool, but they'll let us know around 3:30. So.
Well, they love the pool shows, but I'm not sure if it's predetermined or not. Let me ask you something, because of the Yardbird tunes, some of them are very short, 2-3 minutes long. Do you guys play extended versions of them? Do you go crazy? Are you in favor of that, Jim? What do you guys like to do on stage?
No, most of them are just the same. There's a couple of them change.
Okay.
But there's things like Smokestack Lightning that it's never the same, you know. It's never the same every night. So, you know, some of them have got improvisation built in and others are strictly on the arrangement.
Awesome. Let me talk to the guys, and they're getting ready to wrap it up here. The guys at Family Stone. I want to hear the craziest story on the road, because I know you've got, with tailing behind Sly, just to try to keep him out of trouble. I know there's.
Nailing it down to one crazy story.
One crazy story.
Almost impossible.
All right, Jared.
Right? There was just millions of them. There was like driving down the Ohio Turnpike and you take a wrong road, and we're up in the Ozark Mountains and stuff, you know, and people saw us, a crazy dressed black and white group, and they were chasing us through the town, and the sheriffs were coming after us.
Did get you out?
To kill us. Back then, it was in the south and up in the mountains. I had hair down to here, and they had a special thing for me. And so that's just one of many. Then of course the lateness and the no-shows and stuff. And on top of that, we had 13 wonderful shows at Madison Square Garden that were sold out. And when Sly was hot, he was hot. And when he was not, it's because he didn't show up. Everybody here knows all about that. They probably had at least one. But now, what Greg and I have been doing for the last 15 years with this band is keeping the music and the energy up. We don't have any better songs than Sly, so we're going to keep on playing these. And we're getting old now anyway. It's not really late to have a new contract, a new career now, you know. So I'm going to bop until I drop, until hopefully it'll be a while. And Greg too, he's the kid at 68. That's it for me.
Well, I do know that you guys know that Family Stone was here with us last year. They're here obviously this year, and they're going to be here next year, and they're going to be at Abbey Road on the River. So I think you guys like them. So we're getting ready to wrap up. If there's maybe one question anybody wants to ask, I'll let you ask, and then we'll.
I'd like to know what you guys listen to today. What do you listen to? I know you're
What are you listening to? What is your music of choice?
Personally, I listen to Little Steven's Underground Garage. Everything from the Yardbirds to my other band, the Doughboys, and I mean, you hear stuff on Little Steven's Underground Garage and you're not going to hear anyplace else.
right.
And there's so much of the British wave stuff from the '60s that you hear. I've been amazed at how much Yardbirds he's been playing lately. But to me, that's the stuff I enjoy, you know. So even though I've been exposed to a lot of stuff because my kids obviously like different music than me, I still love this other stuff. I love the just the whole 60s vibe, the British way vibe is still the best music for me.
That's a great question. Let's get everybody to
Well, there's so much. I suppose for me it is a retro type of music just across the board. Of course, I've got my little guy sat there on the floor, and I think he's very fortunate with us because his favorite band is Love. Yeah. This is a little guy who can set the scene and do all of the orchestration in his head because it's playing in the car, just the way my parents listened to Ray Charles and you had Busted going on when I was 3, you know, doing all the orchestration. So Jed, you keep it up, but it's just across the board, you know, good music. Good music is good music whether or not it was recorded in 1938 or 2025, whenever that comes, you know. So keep your ears open for whatever is intrinsically good music. Yeah, we know where it's at.
Yeah, the same as John, you know, and anything, all sorts of music, and, you know, things that are interesting, really. Ry Cooder did some great things with African musicians and Cuban musicians. There's Cuba here. And, you know, it was, those sort of things are very interesting to me, and still jazz and classical, and everything across the board.
Well, my iPod is, my library is kind of eclectic. I listen to everybody from people like Chris Whitley to Everly Brothers. I'm a big fan of the Everly Brothers, Chet Atkins, Wes Montgomery, John Schofield, all the 60s stuff. I still kind of always gravitate to go back to listen to early Beatles stuff, Yardbird stuff, early Stone stuff, Kinks, who it's like John said, good music is just good music. So I don't really have any kind of particular genre that I like, as long as it's really good and it seems to be done from the heart, then I dig it. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Johnny on that. I'm pretty much the same way, and I also have to say I also listen to a lot of Willie's Roadhouse because I love old country music, real country music, and I play a little steel guitar and dobro, so I'm always listening for that. And I like bluegrass as well, but old R&B, old blues, 40s, 50s, Motown. I love Phil Spector records. It's just, you know, just good music. And underground garage, because there's a lot of good music that's new music that's played there, so I get exposed to that. So,
all right, Greg.
I've always gravitated just to all kinds of genres of music, and I find it interesting today. Some of the young artists. There was a period there where the artists were creating music, pressing a button, and they didn't come up playing and learning how to perform, you know. And so they were making records and having hit records, and there's a demand to see them, and they really didn't know how to perform. It's kind of come back around, and there's a lot of young people like Justin Timberlake. I love what he's doing because he incorporates big band, real classy stuff with funk and R&B and gospel singers and dancing. He's got the whole thing going on, you know. So it's kind of interesting. I'd like to do, with our songbook, get into doing, we have an opportunity to do something with the symphony orchestra. So the whole thing is getting arrangements, hip, good arrangements of the songbook, and then doing performances in the symphony halls around the big cities, you know, the country or Europe. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing something like that.
We have one. We're going to be playing with the Oakland Symphony Orchestra in San Mateo this year. And they're going to do songs like Stand, which is an excellent song and has a lot of, it goes places, and we'll see how that works out.
All right, awesome. Mickey, you're going to have the last word, my friend.
Pat Boone and Yanni. I actually, my wife and I have quite a little routine these days. In the morning, over green tea and coffee, it's classical guitar, Scobia, and that kind of instrumental stuff, classical guitar. And then at 5 o'clock, martini time, it's Ella Fitzgerald.
All right, can't go wrong with Ella.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank our panel. The vanilla Fudge they left already, but we're going to see them. They're going to be playing the pool. Kenny, Johnny, Mike, John, Jim, the Yardbirds.